So the next thing this essay does is it sets out the quantity theory of money. This is one of the most important fundamental theories in economics, you know. This is a highly critical theory. So as you can see, we have MV equals to PT. Now, specifically, what this tells us is that the money supply can be expressed in two different ways. Okay? This side is a volumetric measure, right? Where this side is a revenue measure, right? So this side is essentially, this is sort of, you know, static volume of money times total well, yeah, times rate of money, right? The flow rate of money, we'll call it. And meanwhile, this side is going to be price level times quantity. So this is essentially revenue. And yeah, the quantity theory of money is probably one of the most important theories when it comes to monetary policy, because it underpins the very nature of inflation, inflation in the economy. Specifically, if we take this equation, we come down here for a second, we take this equation, right? Now, a typical monetarist assumption, right? So monetary assumption is that V is constant. So if we hold V constant, right, we've got MV like this, MV equals PT. Now, if we want to understand really what is inflation, inflation is the change in price, right? So if we take M over T times V equals P, we can see that if V is constant, M must change by the same as T, or P to remain the same. So in other words, we realize that the inflation rate, which is equal to the change in P, delta P, or specifically the inflation rate is the growth rate of P, right? So it's, you know, it's the change in price over time, right? dP by dt is equal to the change in the money supply, dm by dt, minus the change in the volume of transactions over, sorry, not the volume, yeah, the volume of transactions of goods and services. In other words, the aggregate output, right? This is equivalent to aggregate demand. This is equal to AD. So we can say dt d big T by d little t. And that is how you end up at the Fisher equation, right? So you end up at the Fisher equation, right? You end up with the inflation rate, or specifically, as I like to say, you end up with the real interest rate is equal to the nominal interest rate minus the inflation rate. And what that really is the nominal interest rate reflects the growth rate of money. The real interest rate reflects the growth rate in aggregate demand. And this reflects the inflation rate. So anyway, that's a brief insight into the quantity theory of money. But the point is, very early into this essay, the student has displayed immediately exactly what theory they're going to use. And this is something you want to adopt when you write your own essay. You want to take a theory very early on and make good use of that theory.